Hi everybody, ignore my crazy hair today. Anyway, it's in this weird in-between stage. I can't do anything with it. Gotta love chemo hair. Today I'm doing kefir for my son, kefir, however you want to say it. Basically, it is a fermented dairy drink, like yogurt. It has completely different bacteria, much stronger bacteria in it than yogurt. I also make yogurt, but my son goes through this. This is actually a drink, not something you would eat with a spoon like yogurt. My son will go through, if I let him, a quart a day. I'm going to show you a second ferment and a first ferment, the result of a second ferment as well. Here we go. This is our raw cow's milk that I'm going to pour over the grains. I have a quart jar here. I'm also drying out potatoes to plant, so just ignore that. Are the kefir grains in the jar. I just strained them out of this, which is a first ferment. So this is actually plain kefir right now. It is slightly thick. It's got some lumps in it, but we'll take care of those after the second ferment. But if you just want to have plain kefir, this is what you're gonna get. I actually already threw a blackberry in there because I'm doing a second ferment with this. So we're gonna ferment it for one more day. Here's how simple it is to make kefir. You have your grains in a jar. They look like gelatinous, kind of like tapioca. I'll see if I can pull some out and show you. Okay, so this is what kefir grains look like. So they're like gelatinous tapioca, but they don't dissolve. They're firm and jelly-like, and they multiply. So once you get one or so, you can just keep going with that. They'll keep growing and multiplying as you use them. And here we go. Okay, so all I'm gonna do, sorry, I had to get the cream off of the top of my milk. All I'm doing is simply taking the milk, and you can do this with store-bought milk, just not ultra pasteurized. You have to make sure the milk is not ultra pasteurized, even if it's organic. All I'm doing is just pouring the milk over the grains, and right now I'm just doing a quart at a time. You don't have to do this, but I do it simply for time and, because my house runs pretty cold. I have them on top of this seedling mat. It's maybe 80 degrees to the touch, and all it does is help to keep it at room temperature. So this is cow's milk. We also have goat milk. So all I did was, you're gonna pour your milk over the grains. You're gonna lightly cap the lid. It depends on whether you like it fizzy or not. If you like the fizz, then you're gonna tighten the lid. If you don't, you're gonna leave it loose. My son does not like the fizziness very much. You're still gonna get a little fizz, but not a ton. Anyway, that's why I have these potatoes over here, because I'm drying them on this mat. But anyway, you're just gonna pour your milk in, put the lid on it, and you're gonna stick it in a warm corner of your kitchen and wait 18 to 24 hours, depending on how fermented you like it. You're gonna see that the texture is gonna change. You'll know when it's done. You can open it and look at it. And that's it. And then this is, after you strain it, I already put a blackberry in here. I'm so sorry, because I did it before I realized I was going to do this video. This is basically, you get a thick kind of milky, it's like a thick milk or a thin yogurt. It just depends on how you look at it. So I have this 2-quart or 2-liter measuring cup that I use to strain it into, and you can see it's separated. And so this is my second ferment, and all I'm going to add into here is a blackberry and a little bit of vanilla, and then I'm going to let it sit. So I just have a blackberry in there, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of vanilla in there. My husband wants to make our own vanilla next, so I will show you all how to do that when we do it. And you're just gonna let it ferment for another 18 to 24 hours. I'm just gonna scrape what's on there. So this is the jar that I just poured my last second ferment out of into the jars that I'm going to keep them in, that I put then in the refrigerator when I have it all blended up and added fruit and honey or whatever we're going to add to it. So this one is going to be a blackberry vanilla, and all it takes is one blackberry, or you can do an orange peel, which is really more traditional. Basically any fruit you want, any fruit flavor. You can make it savory. You can add garlic and dill and herbs to it and let it second ferment. Or you can add all of that after the first ferment when it's just plain, and you can have like a savory dip or marinade or drink. It's really fabulous for any of that. It's going to act as a great marinade and meat softener because it is acidic. The fermentation, it makes it acidic. And so it will start to break down those meat strands that make meat tough, and it will tenderize your meat, just like milk or buttermilk. Just depends. You can use it however you want. My son just drinks it straight. So I'm going to cover this. So you could just do this with a coffee filter or a tea towel or whatever, and a rubber band. But I have this fancy lid that has the mesh top, so I do that. Just because I don't want to look for a rubber band. And this lets it breathe the carbon dioxide from the fermentation come out so that it doesn't stay fizzy. Like I said, if you want it fizzy, you would cover it tightly, airtight, like with a lid or something like that. And then I'm just going to set it aside, and they're both on this mat, and I'll come back tomorrow afternoon, and both of these will be at the end of their fermentation period. This is what you end up with. At the end, after this second fermentation, I put it into a bowl, and I use my immersion mixer, and I add in whatever fruit. This one has strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. And then I add a little honey, and then I just mix it all up with my immersion mixer so that it doesn't have chunks in it. So it's all consistent. But see how it's just kind of like a thicker milk type consistency? And it smells like yogurt, very similar to yogurt. So it's very much like a liquid drinkable yogurt. Very popular in Middle Eastern culture and Mediterranean, Eastern Europe. And so if you're wanting to integrate fermented foods into your diet besides just yogurt, this is a simple, easy thing that you can do at home, and it will provide maximum benefits. This is probably one of the healthiest dairy ferments that I make that I know of. And you could drink this along with yogurt, and it's not going to be a repeat of the same bacteria. It's completely different bacteria than yogurt. So this is a great way to use your milk. Like I said, we get raw milk. So this is actually goat's milk. And then these two are cow milk. So because I pay a lot more for goat milk and I don't get it as often. And so I only did one batch with goat milk, but the other two batches are going to be with cow milk. And this will just get cold in the refrigerator, and my son will suck it down like it's water. And that's it. Have a great day.